Hey gang, Arthur Sherrie here, Synopsis 16 of my unpublished novel titled Broken. Here goes. If I could, I would act like a magician and make it disappear. This was my last chance to back out of this whole thing. I couldn't. I had to know about Neil. Finally, I tapped into the folder. I found his banking, internet, email, and cell phone passwords. Oh my God. I even found his home address and photos. So now the joke is on him. Gina was right. This motherfucker was married. He has the audacity to lay up in my bed after sleeping with me, close his eyes, and go to sleep peacefully. He was the worst kind. Neil was worse than a dog. Why would you piss on the person where you lay your head? Now I see why I'm getting vague answers from him and him not allowing me to meet anyone. No wonder his coworkers treated me aloof. They knew I was the side piece. They must have a reputation with his friends in order for them to cover for him. They say dogs run in packs. They all probably cover for each other using flying as their scapegoat. Pilots were the cream of the crop, but underneath they were the black sticky shit at the bottom of the barrel, pretending to be in the air working when they weren't. Neil should get an Oscar for his performance. Yeah, I understand he's traveling from North America to South America week after week, month after month. He was in Canada one minute and Morocco the next. Flying over the Atlantic Ocean, miles of infinity, bodies of water had to be intense. Sometimes it's funny how life works out when we get what we want, when we don't know how to deal with it. Neil didn't seem to have one problem in the world except integrity. This section is titled Insecurity. As much as I wanted to confide in Neil, I kept it to myself about my past relationships. For some reason, I wasn't comfortable sharing the deepest part of my personal life with him. I'm not sure how he would handle it. I didn't want to turn him off or be judged by the man I'd fallen head over heels for. It's bad enough to try to get to know him by only seeing each other a few times a month. He was much bigger than Neil. When our relationship and love concluded, I didn't think I could love again. I was broken. The way that I felt was getting out of hand. I had to pay attention to the way I handled Neil. He wasn't the stereotypical male. He had to be spoken to gently and with intellect. I monitored my words to keep the peace between us. Hold on one second. Excuse me. I didn't want Neil to categorize me as all women mentality. He was fluent at that after getting to know him better. He never revealed that side of him until about 6 months into our courtship. I was intrigued by him. He was intellectually different and financially stable. Dabbling in my own insecurities, I was confused about what Neil even saw in me. It was obvious his friends and coworkers weren't fond of me and his family never met me. Why was I his little well-kept secret? It's been a year. He must be on some bullshit. I have to admit, I am jealous of Neil's life. I may be overacting. However, I've come to realize Neil is painfully a narcissist. All of our dates and conversations were deeply about him. I kissed him because I wanted to, not because I had to. When we made love, he even made sure that he climaxed before me making certain to get his. Getting up to get a washcloth to wipe off only himself, clean as I lay softly cradled with a pillow waiting, hoping he will wash me off too. At this point, I hated putting my mouth on him. It was the only way I could get him erect. I don't think he was any longer attracted to me. I'm tripping. I should escape my own mind because at least he still sleeps with me. He stopped reciprocating, telling me he will do me next time. Next time never came after the 6 months. Promises. He stopped pleasuring me orally a long time ago. Neil was beginning to disgust me. I didn't mumble one word of it, though. I held my composure with a slight grin each time he kissed around it, but never deep dived. When we do have these weird, short, to the point conversations, he could do me a favor every now and then and ask me how I feel. I wish he would have me the way I desired him to want me. He doesn't. I have to remember to monitor my own words so that I don't offend him. I didn't want weeks and months of not seeing him to turn longer if I got on his nerves. Neil would tell me, "I thought you were different," to make me feel some kind of way. His words were sharp and had power over me. Having an alpha male was what I always hoped for, but not intertwined with narcissism. It was too much for any one woman to have to endure to please her man. I didn't feel welcome in his life anymore, or maybe I never was. Nobody knows we are a couple except Gina, and she's not too fond of him either. No public displays of affection, not even hand-holding. In the beginning, he gave me a smack on the lips, but there was not much hand-holding and body touching. We were more professional towards each other initially. He was quite OCD, removing his shoes and clothing slowly, strategically placing them neatly on the chair so that they don't get wrinkled when it was over. I was starting to see the real Neil ooze out from underneath his suits. I could now see why he was single when I met him. Any woman in her right mind wouldn't put up with his narcissistic ass. I was dumb sticking around for him to break me more. I guess it was better than being alone. As I focused on the room, all I could hear was extreme snoring. It was annoying. Roaring like a lion irritated me. I was just happy that he was here. It seemed the only time Neil and I bonded was when we were in bed. His mind was in another space and time. I knew he had a demanding career. I didn't know it would affect him like this. I glanced over at him in my bed, and he had the audacity to be asleep after his unfinished business with me. This journey has crumbled into another dimension. A tear fell down my face from my internal pain caused by his disconcerting neglect. I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. I was tired of being put last or runner-up. I was never anyone's first. I wanted to be everything Neil wanted and needed. He was so arrogant that he didn't know that I loved him. Some days I wanted to be heard. Unfortunately, our short conversations only led to the bedroom and wake up still lacking knowledge of who I laid with. In the first couple of months, he was amazing. I cherished him in every moment we had. Who was I to question him? I had no proof that he was cheating. We weren't married, and I highly doubt if this relationship is even real. In my eyes, there was no true commitment. I've only had a few dinners, drinks, a couple of laughs, and screwed by this man. He needs to take more responsibility in our relationship. I wanted Neil to try, but I don't think he sees anything wrong. Since I hid my internal pain extremely well. He seems distant mentally as well as physically when he's in the air, but something's going on. I hope I'm not reaching. Sadly, Neil doesn't act the same. Maybe I should get a side piece like the rest of these women, and I won't be so vested in him. Right now, a side piece would be perfect. He could finish off what Neil started. I am going to stop there. I don't want to run over time. I ran over just quite a little bit, but I do hope that you will I hope you enjoyed the read, and I want you to pick up the book For Love or Money, which is on Amazon Bookstore. It's titled For Love or Money, and it is in film as well on Amazon Prime Video and Folsom TV. It's in Amazon Bookstore, titled For Love or Money, and this was the first book that I wrote out of 12. Okay? I thank you so much for your time and attention. Until next time, love you like a play cousin.